The sky was empty. Until at T.1 morning, millions of blinking lights appeared in Earth's orbit. Not satellites. Not any known spacecraft. Ships of alien design, massive and unfamiliar, hovered silently above the planet. Millions of people, refugees from distant galaxies, were packed inside. Earth's leaders panicked. Governments scrambled emergency meetings. Military forces raised alert levels. Analysts and scientists tried to calculate the numbers. 6 million lives dropped on Earth without warning. This is impossible, said the United Nations Secretary General, staring at the orbital images. We cannot handle this. Chaos rippled across continents. Airports, cities, and communication networks were overloaded with panic and fear. Citizens watched the sky nervously, unaware of the scale of the arrival. Meanwhile, in a secret orbital command center, Captain Celine Corr of the United Earth Defense Force observed calmly. Unlike the politicians, she did not panic. Her crew monitored every ship, every signal, every anomaly in real time. "They think we will collapse," Celine said quietly to her lieutenant. "They think humans cannot manage 6 million unexpected arrivals. Let them watch." The aliens had left messages. Cryptic, cold, and demanding. Handle them or face consequences. They expected disorder. They expected fear. They expected humans to fail, but humans had a plan. Even if no one else on the planet did, Celine's team immediately began assessing the refugees' condition. Life support systems were barely functional. Many ships were failing. The aliens had dumped these lives like debris, expecting Earth to panic, but humans did not. They organized. Emergency shelters were mapped. Supplies were calculated and distributed. Medical teams coordinated across continents. Every move was deliberate, precise, and calm. Where the aliens had expected chaos, humans created structure. In orbit, humans scanned alien ship systems. Small modifications were made, interfaces studied, defensive protocols noted. Engineers worked quietly to understand the technology, while Celine coordinated logistics. "They are observing us," the lieutenant whispered. "Do you think they expected this?" Celine smiled faintly. No, they expected screaming, panic, and failure. They expected weakness. But they forgot one thing about humanity. We do not break under pressure. On the ground, refugees began to descend in controlled pods. Earth's forces managed landings with perfect timing, avoiding collisions, overcrowding, and chaos. Volunteers, soldiers, and scientists worked together seamlessly. From the alien observation points, the galaxy watched. The coalition that had dumped 6 million refugees on a single planet expected a disaster. They had expected humans to fail spectacularly. Instead, they saw order, precision, calm, strategy. Celine activated a communication link to the orbital fleet. "Prepare defensive protocols," she instructed. "We do not strike yet. We do not need to. But we must be ready for anyone who underestimates us." The aliens may have thought this was just a test, a trap, a joke. But humans were not panicking. They were learning, adapting, preparing. The first night, as Earth's cities lit up under the glowing alien ships, Celine looked out at the horizon. "They expect a response," she murmured. "They expect chaos. But humans respond with thought. And thought is far deadlier than fear." Above, in silent orbit, 6 million refugees waited. And the galaxy waited with them. Humans had been challenged, and for the first time, the universe was about to learn, underestimate humanity. And it will shock you. Silence, patience, and strategy were the first weapons. The storm had not begun yet, but the calm before it was terrifying enough. The morning after the arrival, Earth was calm, but only on the surface. Beneath the calm, humans were working like a machine. Cities and emergency shelters buzzed with activity. Supplies were distributed. Medical teams treated the injured. Engineers scanned alien pods for damage in critical systems. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was left to chance. Captain Cellini Core stood in the orbital command center, watching every refugee pod and every alien ship on the display. "Remember," she said to her team, "the galaxy is watching. They expect failure. They expect chaos. Let's show them something else." Aliens were observing. Their sensors tracked every movement. They expected panic, screams, and disorder. Instead, they saw order, precision, and coordination. Humans moved 6 million refugees safely without a single collision. They stabilized failing life support systems. They distributed food, water, and medical care with speed and efficiency that no alien fleet had anticipated. "This is unbelievable," one alien observer whispered from an orbiting scout. "They actually manage it? They must have prepared for this," another said. "No species could act this fast without planning." But humans were improvising. Adaptation was their strength. Technology was a tool, not a crutch. Even alien ships were repurposed. Engineers interfaced with the vessels to access environmental controls, finding ways to keep refugees safe while learning the designs of unknown technology. On the ground, refugees were calm too. Humans guided them carefully, teaching the basics of survival on a planet they had never seen before. In hours, the panic that the galaxy had expected turned into cooperation. Cellini's communications officer tapped her shoulder. "Captain, some of the alien pods contain energy cores. They're unstable." "Good," Cellini replied calmly. "We will study them. And if anyone tries aggression, we'll have the advantage." Humans had already anticipated potential threats. Sensors in orbit quietly monitored alien fleets. Any attempt to interfere would be detected instantly. Defense systems were ready, though Cellini had no intention of striking, at least not yet. Meanwhile, the aliens grew increasingly nervous. "They are organizing," one officer said nervously. "All 6 million. Without mistakes? How?" "They are not just reacting," another admitted. "They are predicting. They know what will happen next before it happens." Celine looked at the display, showing organized refugee routes and stabilized alien pods. "We do not need to fight yet," she said to her lieutenant. "Our first move is already the message. Humanity adapts. Humanity survives. And humanity protects life even when the galaxy expects us to fail." Every action was being recorded by alien scouts. Across the stars, civilizations that had mocked Earth watched in disbelief. Humans were not panicking. Humans were not helpless. Humans were extraordinary. As night fell, Celine stood at a window of the orbital command center. Below, lights of temporary shelters spread across the planet. Refugees slept safely. Systems hummed efficiently. And humanity had already delivered the first warning to the galaxy. Chaos was expected. But order prevailed. Strength did not lie in firepower alone. Intelligence, adaptability, and calm strategy could defeat expectation. The aliens had expected confusion. They had expected disorder. Instead, they witnessed humanity's first move. Clever, precise, and unstoppable. The galaxy realized something terrifying. Humans could survive anything, and they could turn every challenge into an advantage. The first human move had been made, and it had shocked the universe. The galaxy had expected chaos, but humans had prepared quietly. Captain Celine. Core watched the orbital displays. Every alien vessel, every refugee pod, every system mapped, analyzed, and predicted. The humans were not just responding. They were controlling the situation without the aliens even noticing. "Prepare the satellites," Celine said calmly. "Activate the adaptive shields. And keep monitoring their fleet." Her officers moved quickly. Orbital defense satellites, repurposed from old human programs, began to hum with new energy. Alien ships had technology that humans had barely seen, yet engineers worked quietly, integrating it with Earth systems. Humans were learning faster than the galaxy expected. Below on the planet, refugees continued to arrive in an organized flow. Emergency shelters were more than just tents, they were fortified, equipped with energy shields, medical systems, and automated support. Humans had turned disaster into order, and they had done it without panic or waste. "They are too precise," an alien observer said, whispering. "Every step is calculated. Every action anticipated." "They adapt faster than we can analyze," another replied. "They learn as they go. They are dangerous." Cellini's team had more than just logistics under control. They had secretly integrated alien AI with human command systems. Predictive algorithms now allowed them to anticipate every possible move of nearby fleets. Missiles, energy weapons, even electronic interference, none could touch Earth without humans already having a counter. "This is incredible," whispered the young engineer. "We're not just defending. We are controlling the battlefield before it begins." Cellini nodded. "Exactly. The galaxy thinks strength is numbers. But intelligence and strategy, that is humanity's real weapon." Aliens attempted to intimidate. A Dominion cruiser approached low orbit, scanning for vulnerabilities. They expected humans to panic, to surrender. Instead, the cruiser's sensors were subtly jammed. Its engines hiccuped. Its communication arrays faltered. The humans had not fired a weapon. They had not attacked. They had simply used strategy and technology to neutralize the threat without destruction. On the bridge, Celine smiled faintly. "They think we are weak. They think we cannot handle this. Let them watch closely, they are about to learn the truth." Asterisk across the galaxy, other alien civilizations were beginning to whisper. A small planet, a scattered population, yet humans had handled 6 million refugees while neutralizing advanced alien tech. Coordination, efficiency, adaptability, they had underestimated humanity for centuries. The hidden strategy was clear: patience first, adaptation second, control always. Humans did not need to destroy to win. They only needed to survive, organize, and use the universe's own chaos against it. "They are everywhere at once," an alien officer muttered, watching human command feeds. "How can one species do all this?" Cellini's voice cut through the room, calm and commanding. "Because humanity does not panic. Humanity learns. Humanity adapts. And when challenged, we strike with precision." The aliens had believed Earth was weak. They had expected chaos. Instead, they were witnessing humanity's greatest strength: intelligence, patience, and the ability to turn even a crisis into control. The storm had not yet begun, but the galaxy was already starting to fear what humans could do when pushed. And when the final move came, no one not alien or refugee would forget it. The aliens had watched humanity with curiosity. Now, they watched with fear. A small inspection fleet approached Earth, sleek and armed with advanced weapons. They expected to intimidate humans, maybe provoke chaos, maybe force surrender. 6 million refugees had arrived. They thought Earth would crumble under the pressure. They were wrong. Captain Cellini Core stood in the orbital command center, calm as ever. Her officers monitored every alien movement, every communication, every weapon system. Every plan the aliens made, humans had already anticipated. "Activate the orbital control arrays," Selene ordered. "We will not attack. We only need to show them the truth." The alien fleet moved closer. Sensors scanned, weapons charged. But before any shot could be fired, their systems faltered. Missiles spun harmlessly into space. Engines hiccuped. Shields flickered unpredictably. They can control us?" An alien officer stammered, eyes wide in disbelief. "They are." "Everywhere," another admitted. "Every move we make." They anticipated. Humans had used alien AI combined with their own command systems. Predictive algorithms tracked the fleet's every motion. Defensive satellites, repurposed from old programs, monitored every ship. Humans could neutralize a threat without firing a single destructive shot. On the ground, refugees and citizens watched the sky. Nothing exploded. No battles raged. And yet, the aliens could do nothing. Every attempt at aggression was blocked or redirected. Every offensive action neutralized. Humanity's control was absolute. Selene's lieutenant whispered, awestruck, "Captain, we didn't even need to attack. And they're already immobilized." Selene smiled faintly. "This is the shock wave," she said. "Not fire, not destruction. Strategy, patience, and intelligence. That is our power. The galaxy will remember this." Across the stars, alien civilizations observed. A scattered planet with 6 million unexpected refugees had turned a potentially chaotic situation into a demonstration of calm, precision, and power. They are not weak," one observer admitted. "They are extraordinary." "They are humans," another whispered. "They do not destroy, but they can control. They can survive. They can outthink an entire fleet." The alien inspection fleet, finally realizing the humans were not just clever but untouchable in this moment, retreated quietly. Pride and arrogance shattered. Respect and fear replaced it. Selene turned to her crew. "Remember this," she said quietly. "We protected lives. We preserved order. We proved the galaxy wrong. Humanity does not need to destroy to be unstoppable." Refugees were now safe, systems stable, and the aliens had learned a lesson they would never forget. Silence, patience, and intelligence were more powerful than firepower or numbers. Across Earth, people whispered in awe. Humanity had done the impossible, controlled 6 million refugees, neutralized alien intimidation, and demonstrated absolute strategic superiority. The shockwave was complete. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's true nature, not reckless, not fragile, but clever, adaptable, and dangerous in ways no one had expected. Selene looked out at the stars. "The final move is coming," she murmured. "And when it does, the galaxy will finally understand what humans are capable of." The calm before the storm had passed. The shockwave had struck, and every species watching knew one truth. The alien fleet had retreated. Earth was calm. 6 million refugees were safe. Cities had not burned. Systems were stable. Humans had handled what the galaxy thought was impossible, and they had done it without a single destructive strike. Captain Selene Kaur stood in the orbital command center, looking at the stars. "The galaxy expected chaos," she said softly. "They expected panic. They expected failure. And yet," her lieutenant nodded, "and yet, we succeeded. Every refugee is safe. Every alien attempt neutralized. Every system under control." Selene smiled faintly. "That is humanity's strength. We survive. We adapt. We protect life. And we teach the galaxy. Without violence, if possible. Across distant star systems, observers recorded the events. Civilizations that had doubted humans, laughed at them, or dismissed them as weak now whispered in awe. Humans had turned disaster into order, weakness into strength, and chaos into control. A broadcast message went out from Earth, sent to every nearby star system. We protect life. We adapt. We survive. But do not test us. Humanity is clever, patient, and dangerous when challenged. Learn this, galaxy. Underestimate us at your peril. Alien empires reconsidered their strategies. Plans for invasion, intimidation, or interference were paused. Humans had demonstrated that strategy, patience, and intelligence could defeat fear and numbers. Selene walked among her crew. Engineers, soldiers, and volunteers worked quietly but efficiently. Every person had played a part in the success. Every calculation, every decision, every small action had contributed to humanity's victory without war. "Captain," a young officer said, eyes wide, "do you think the galaxy will ever underestimate humans again?" Selene shook her head slowly. "Not for a long time. They've learned today what we always knew. Humans are not weak. And when tested, we can turn even the impossible into order." On Earth, refugees began to integrate into society. They were fed, healed, and guided. Humanity had not only survived a galactic challenge, they had expanded compassion, wisdom, and control. And the galaxy understood something else: silence. Patience and strategy were humanity's ultimate weapons. Humans did not need destruction to prove power. Humans did not need chaos to show strength. They only needed thought, coordination, and while Dot in the orbital command center, Selene looked at the quiet stars. "We did not strike a single blow," she murmured. "Yet the universe saw our power." That is the lesson the galaxy must never forget. Across systems, aliens, refugees, and observers now knew a terrifying truth. Humanity was clever, adaptable, and unstoppable when challenged. They could survive anything, protect everything, and control outcomes without unnecessary violence. The storm had passed. The challenge was over, but the lesson would echo across the stars forever. Humans had shown the galaxy that strength did not always roar. Sometimes it was silent, calm, calculated, and the galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. Silence. Intelligence and patience, these were humanity's greatest weapons, and from that day forward, the universe knew it. Humans are dangerous in the right way, and nothing could stop them when tested. Underestimate humanity at your own peril.